In today's society, it's frowned upon to be ambitious. Every time that somebody shoots for the moon or the stars, it's seen as negative. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to accomplish things? Why do you want this attention? Why don't you just fit in? There's no reason for you to be successful. There's no reason for you to be driving that Lamborghini Huracan down the street. There's no reason for you to be rich. Just live comfortably. Take care of your mental health. Don't make a lot of money. Save for retirement. Work a 9 to 5. Don't be ambitious.
And oddly enough, I'd like to point out something. I like to take the time to show appreciation for a few people. Of course, parents, of course, family, you know, all that stuff, right? Love my parents, love my family. But there's a few people specifically that I would like to call out and say thank you, because they allowed me, they encouraged me, they had my back when I wanted to shoot for the stars or shoot for the moon or whatever, right? Because most people, I feel like, have dreams when they're younger, right? They want to be an astronaut. They want to be an NBA player. They want to be a whatever, right? And maybe it's their teacher. Maybe it's, you know, a friend of theirs, a family member of theirs, some random person they don't know. They tell that person their aspirations and they shoot it down. They're like, you can never do that. You're not tall enough. You're not smart enough. You're not whatever enough, right? And I feel like a lot of people, when they hear those things, or even if they're told those things a multitude of times, they end up believing what those people say. And surrounding yourself by people like that could kill your dreams. Now, back to what I was saying, I like to show appreciation for a couple people. I would like to thank Jose for sure, because whenever I came to him with some crazy ass idea about, hey man, let's start a business, he didn't say, nah, that sounds like very risky. Sounds like it will consume a lot of my time. You know, I like women a lot, and I feel like that would take away from my time with all the lovely ladies out there, all that stuff, right?
I do like women.
You know, we love women we date, if you're attractive.
Shout out to the Venezolanas that we saw today.
Yeah, hey, if y'all see this eventually, come down to...
Come up, actually. You're going to have to come up here.
They say on this floor.
I'm saying the other ones. Oh, you mean them? Oh, okay. I thought you were just speaking.
Oh, the other ones.
I thought you were just speaking broadly.
What other Venezuelans did we mean?
No, I just meant lovely ladies.
I
thought you were saying if you come around and you're in the town, just come up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That too. But yeah. But shout out to Jose and shout out to Lauren, my Spellman sister. And these two people were people in my life, and of course, there's a lot of other friends and stuff that I've had around me that have encouraged me and whatnot. But I do want to say these two people specifically, because Jose and I have been brothers since damn near 13 years or some shit like that. So me and him have been like this for a while. And then Lauren, because whenever I was going through shit in college and trying to think about doing shit and I would say not as confident in myself and my abilities, she was always telling me that I could do these things. So now, when we're here podcasting to you with our podcast, with our new watches in front of a nice corner penthouse view, that costs a lot of money per month to stay in, and we have multitudes of businesses, we have multiple employees and XYZ. That is why I've been able to have my part in getting us here, is because of people like Jose and people like Lauren. So for you, I'd say in order for you to shoot for the stars and potentially land on the moon, you have to have people around you that would say, hey, do it. You can do it. And of course, there's the, you can be a lone wolf and whatnot, but we've talked about this in previous podcasts. You travel farther with others than by yourself. And the lone wolf, more often than not, either dies of starvation or gets his ass eaten up by the other pack of wolves. So have a pack around you that believes in your dreams and believes in you. And if you shoot for the stars, you'll be surprised that you landed on the moon.
I was about to say, we should change the podcast topic now. Now since we're so into the community and the other people. I mean, we could.
Change it to what?
We could. It would be find your pack.
No, we already talked about that.
But that's okay. We touch on similar topics.
But I'm saying
it was a good it was a good like
right
additive.
Because in order for me to do any of the shit that we've done so far, I'd have to have, if I didn't have you around, if I didn't have Lauren around at some point in time, I don't know if I would have been able to do it because y'all encouraged me and y'all believed in me to do this shit. So it allowed for me to be able to shoot for the stars and feel like I could shoot for the stars because most people, I don't even think they can, or they don't believe that they can shoot for the stars,
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I think one of the reasons why, besides your surroundings, that people don't shoot for the stars, because shoot for the stars and you land on the moon, or that's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you land on the star or you surpass it. You never know. And then you become the shooting star that everybody wishes upon.
Ooh, boy. Hey, that boy he's getting better and better. He had 6 hours of sleep today.
That's a damn record for like the past year. That's dangerous. Probably the longest night in 2024 that I've slept.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Now, so one of the main reasons why, besides actually setting the goal, is people have the limiters set on their reality. Now, I talked about this in the last podcast, episode 108. No, not 108. 110. Earn the right to brag. And I was saying you have to be a different kind of egotistical maniac to fail to acknowledge that you're not the highest or the best in your domain. And I gave the example of you might be an entrepreneur, but Elon Musk is always going to be better than you until the day that you're better than Elon Musk. And if you don't register the fact that there is somebody who's better than you, then you will not know your true ceiling. So you create a synthetic ceiling for yourself. You're like, I'm the best, which means that's your ceiling. Where you currently are is what you think is the most obtainable, and you can't go higher than that or be better than that, which is severely, severely limiting your progress because you have a very perturbed sense of reality. You think that you are the highest actualized form of yourself, but you're not. You're way far off. Now, even when you get to that point where you are the best version of yourself and you might just be the number one in your domain, now you have to gamify it and you have to make the best version of yourself in your mind that's better than you and compete with that and contend with that. What I'm saying is we tend to put limiters on ourselves through our own arrogance and through our own sense of accomplishment, achievement, and importance. And when you do that, it's very, very dangerous because now you're leaving yourself no room to grow. If you think you know everything, then he who knows everything can learn nothing. Or is it he who knows everything knows nothing at all?
It's something along those lines. A wise man once knew nothing. That's another one though.
Isn't it a wise man once said nothing at all?
Oh yeah, that too.
It's Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 8:2. The one who thinks he knows something does not yet know as he ought to know. And then obviously one of my favorite quotes from Socrates, I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, that is that I know nothing. So when you humble yourself and you realize that there is, if you become a forever learner, if you accept that totem, then you have the capacity to shoot for the stars.
Right.
Otherwise, you're stuck on the earth. You're stuck on the dirt. You can't even look up because you think all there is the dirt.
And you know what I find interesting? What would you say is one of the main factors that stops people from achieving their goals and for shooting for the stars, what's one of the main deterrences?
I would say their surroundings.
Okay.
What they see, that person's going, oh my God.
People can't drive. But
Wow. I've never seen somebody go in a roundabout in the wrong direction.
that's actually my third time seeing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. People are
Yeah.
something else.
But I would say one of the main things that stops people from shooting for the stars is, of course, a lack of work ethic. I think that's just like something that anybody would tell you is a main factor for why most people don't succeed. But I feel like another one is that they don't even believe that their goals are realistic. And we've talked about this before. If you want to gain these luxurious items, have these expensive cars, expensive shit, be able to travel whenever you want, all this shit, have a successful business, right? All that. You almost have to be a little delusional. Because let's really think about it, right? You have a dream or an idea that you can change the world with a solution that changes the way people distribute shit around the fucking world forever. That's your idea, right? In order for you to do that, you basically have to take yourself out and take your mind out of how society has normally trained you to think. You can't think the same way, and you can't say, hey, there's limits and there's, guidelines and sidelines that I have to stay in. You have to say, I have to think out of the box. I'm going to think out of the box. There's no limit to what I can do. If you think like that, then that allows you to potentially get things that people only dreamed of, because you're no longer thinking inside the confines of what society has told you is reality and what society has told you is feasible. You're thinking about shit from a different perspective. You're thinking about shit as like, hey, what if what people told me, what if my teachers told me, what if what my parents told me was not all that I could do? In order to think like that, you are basically going against 95% of humanity. When I say 95% of humanity, I'm not saying like, oh, you're against them, like, oh, you want to fight everybody. No, I'm saying the way that they think, the way that they rationalize things, the way that they perceive, the world around them, you're going against that. And that's very, very hard, because when you're going through these things, 95% of people won't understand what the fuck you're doing it for, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, what's the point of doing it. They won't understand that. So for you to shoot for the stars and land on the moon, when most people hear that, they're like, oh, that's just a saying, right? But you know who thinks that's actually reality and has gotten very close to actually doing it? Well, not even very close. Basically, they're going to do it, and farther, Elon Musk. So for most people, that's just a saying, right? That could have been bad. But for most people, that's just a saying. But he took the shit literally. And because he fucking shot for the stars, he's going to land on the moon and land on Mars and land on fucking everywhere else that he wants to. So, and if he would have told one of y'all what he was doing some years back, a decade ago, you'd have been like, yeah, probably not. This guy's just high out of his mind. He's some weird white guy. What the fuck? But he actually did it. And he worked hard enough every fucking day and believed in what the fuck he thought was doable on this earth and fucking did it. And not even just on this earth, in this fucking galaxy. And now he's really doing it. So in order for you to get to anywhere that you want, you have to first believe that it's really possible. And I feel like a lot of people say that they believe it, but it's like, I don't know. But no, you're really going to have to damn near delude yourself and say, man, I can achieve my wildest dreams. And if you try and you shoot for it and you work every day, who knows? You may actually land on the star, or you may get close, but you're going to be a lot further than what most people would be able to do, because they can't even perceive your reality and what you believe can be done on this earth.
What was I going to say? It was a good point.
This is a very interesting podcast.
Indeed. Very, very sporadic.
Yeah.
Shoot for the stars, land on the moon. I think a lot of times, you were saying?
No.
You were going to go...
No.
A lot of times, people are afraid. Let's use the analogy of space travel. Enduring the G-force on the launch, the possibility that the rocket explodes, exiting Earth's atmosphere, the potential that the cabin pressure is not right in space, and the vacuum just demolishes you, the potential that there is a crack or a leak, that the vessel itself is not airtight, the problems with oxygen, there's a plethora of issues that you could encounter. And all that is very true in life. You can hit any roadblock and any bump. But that's an inherent risk of space travel. That's the inherent risk of the pursuit of excellence. We talked about this before. When you accelerate your rate of success, you also accelerate your rate of failure. We're going to come up with this logo soon. And it's going to be a W for win. And it's going to be composed of a bunch of L's. Small L's. Because a big win is just accumulation of small losses at a high volume. The more you want to win, the more you have to lose. The more that you want to increase your success in space travel, the more you have to increase your failure rate. And you're not directly saying, let's go out and fail. You're saying, let's go out and learn.
Exactly.
And because people confuse a failed rocket launch with a failed mission. No, it's a learning opportunity. A mistake was made.
Right.
Or somebody was arrogant, whatever it might be. As long as you pay attention to the reason why what happened, and you learn from it and you move forward, eventually you'll happen upon a win. It might not be in your lifetime. A Nobel Prize isn't granted to somebody while they're alive. It's only given to people after they pass away. So as far as I'm concerned, almost always the risk is nothing in comparison to the reward. And I believe that you should be afraid. I believe that it is something that is very scary. I believe that it is something that is unenviable. I think that the path least trodden is not fun. It is analogous to hell in almost all sense of the word and the theory and the concept and the place. But the reward itself is a taste of heaven. You get to see people smile. You get to take care of others. You get to help other people who are in need. You get to simply not worry about the simple things. If you had to ask me, would I rather never have to worry about any financial situations in my family, but have to deal with headaches from suppliers, headaches from international business, headaches from small vendors, headaches from distribution, headaches from laws, headaches from taxes, headaches from liens, I would tell you it's a no-brainer. I'd rather get those headaches every day than have to deal with financial problems for those that I love and those that I want to take care of. You just have to ask yourself, is your goal truly worthy of the process that you're going to have to endure to get there? And that, my friends, is why you have to sit back and understand why you do what you do. Because once you have a why, what is it? What's the saying? If there's a will, there's a way.
Right.
A man who has a why can endure any pain.
I didn't know that, but that makes a lot of sense.
It's like the story. You remember the story about the traumatized war vets from World War I? I think it was, in the UK. And when the bombing started in World War II, they couldn't walk, they couldn't talk, they couldn't do anything. They were hospitalized. And when the bombs hit, they got up and they were driving the emergency rescue cars and vehicles, and they were helping people evacuate. It was because they didn't have a purpose in society, in life, when they returned, and it just shut them off entirely. But the call for, hey, nobody else can drive, can anybody in here drive? I can do it, was enough to resuscitate them essentially from a state of limbo, like almost as if they had passed away. All right. Yeah, right. A man who has a why can endure any pain. Yeah, or a man who has a why can bear anyhow. From Friedrich Nietzsche.
Well, on that note,
The AM Club Podcast.
signing out.
The AM Club Podcast.